And it's so interesting because we talk about Ilhan Omar there, don't we, Freddie, and what happened to her and what Donald Trump came out and said, as Isabel said, she just might have orchestrated this all herself. Once again, we know they don't get on at all, and that's quite important to point out. I want to just ask your thoughts on that. And also, when we talk about the protesters, I spoke to a really interesting reporter who's been on the streets of Minneapolis ever since these protests did break out. And he did say to me the protests are also ramping up against the ICE agents. So things between both sides have really hit crisis point.
Yes, I think on Ilhan Omar, I mean, there's deep hatred between Trump and her, and I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. I think on the protests generally, yes, it is absolutely appalling that these two people were killed in this way. There was no need for it to happen. But there is undeniably a concerted attempt to stop ICE by a large number of people in Minneapolis. And if it wasn't so cold there at the moment, things would be a lot worse because the protests would be far more vigorous. And the difficulty that a lot of the people who want to support the protesters are having is that actually, you know, on things like crime, Trump's policies on crime are divisive. They poll quite well on crime, actually. And if you look at the actual results of what's happened in cities that he has, in some ways, militarized the last few months, homicides are going down, carjackings are going down, robberies are going down. These facts are things that he will want to campaign on in the midterms. The problem he realized this week is that the optics of what's going on in Minneapolis are bad. And that is something that he has moved to address this week. And I think it's, you know, one of the rules of Trump 2.0 is never bend, never break. So never, you know, give in the face of criticism or hostility in the media. But I think here has been a rare example where we have seen a bit of bending, because we've seen Trump say, actually, this is not going right. This is not the way we should be carrying out deportations. ICE is getting itself in a lot of trouble, and we want to change our tactics.